Okay, let's start to try to debug an example. I've just copied a folder called My Projects to a place where I know it is. I will open it in brackets, say File, Open Folder, and here it is, My Projects. That's all files I want to open in brackets, so I choose Open that folder, and hopefully brackets opens it. So I see there is a CSS file called style.css with some CSS. I'm just quickly browsing through it. Recipes, article, footer. And so I see some red here. I would like to correct it immediately. Display. Okay. Let's have a look how it looks like. So I go to the examples and find my project, the index. I would like to open it in the browser. So open with something, Chrome. And then I expect to see something. So there's something on the top. And you are working maybe on the small sizes? No? I don't know whether it looks like this in your computer. Yes? Okay. So the thing is, the approach is mobile first. It means that I don't need to bother about what is going on the big screens and try to adjust things here. We need to make sure that it looks correct in the small view about this. And this is the index. So I look at the index file here. I'm going to select all the code because I want actually to validate the code, because if there are any HTML errors, then when I'm trying to do something, that will actually, it will be by chance that I am correcting things and they might break again. So I quickly go to the validate direct input and paste the whole HTML code in there and check it. And I like the green color. It means there's no, obviously didn't find any errors. So it means that I can rely on the markup. That's a good thing. Another thing we could do immediately is actually take the CSS, the style sheet, and do the same thing. Copy. And then I can go one step back and choose the one called here, other, down here, CSS style sheets, validation, and direct input, and paste it, and say check. Found 2 errors, it says, and the thing is, it doesn't mark here the errors. Maybe I could go one step back and look at the more options. And what does it say here? Warnings, levels, type, automatic. Okay, I don't get any extra errors to see. Oh, here they are. Sorry. So it says dot recipes and article, value error, vertical align left. It's not a vertical align, because vertical align is either top or bottom. So the value is not correct. And there's a pass error in the media. Max width 40 display table cell. It says body background size 100%. And the thing is, what is the error? it says table. So it must be this one. Display table cell. Okay. My first thought is that if I am displaying the anchor as a table cell, maybe it's because the nav is not displayed as table. But I'm a little in doubt about this error here. I don't think they are crucial errors that will affect my layout. So if I can find a quickly solution to these problems, I will do it. Otherwise, I can say I can wait with that and can keep on working on the layout. This one, recipes and articles, maybe I would look at. This is for the bigger screens. Okay, so recipes, and it was this one, I think. Yeah, vertical line. Here, for example, you can say top. That would be a fine one. I will look at the media query. Here, display table cell. Yeah. So nav. I know it needs a display table here, but it will be for the 40M size. It's not for the mobile view. So this is still just a thing. If I have a quick solution, I would do this. And actually, I don't know whether you will have the width of a certain percentage. Should they take a certain amount?
I just wanted to make responsive for my mobile screen.
For the the small screens to make it so make it visible correctly on the mobile.
Yes.
How many items is there in that navigation? Do you remember? 5. So it's 20%. Other 6. We need to have a look. 5. So it's 20% each, like this. Okay, so let's have a look in the browser.
It's got the right box model, isn't it? Or
Table cell?
It doesn't match with table cell, does it?
For some dimensions, it might matter. The box model could be. Yeah. That's a good thing. Let's have a look at that box. Yeah. So what's called? It's called box model. No, box sizing.
Box sizing, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, sorry, I need a selector. Everything should have a box sizing, and here it is. And the one called border box that can be recommended, because then when we make dimensions in our boxes, we can predict the sizes of them, and it will not be only the content of inside the boxes. Okay, let's have a look at how the site looks like here. I'm going to refresh, and I'm going to look at it in the small size. Okay, the first thing, what do we need? What do you want to happen here? This is the logo. It is too big. It's too big, and then I will find the logo. And you have a header here that contains the nav, I guess. Yeah. And you have a figure element and another figure element. Those are the two big images. I was thinking of whether one of them maybe should be a background image instead of a content image. The pop art, I guess, should be a background image. The thing is, would it be a background image to the header, or would you like to be a background image to the whole body?
I want to stay on top.
Only the header. So I will remove this. I will remember this name here. Maybe we can just find it. I will remove this figure. You have your logo here now. Then the header is going to have a background image. Let's start with that. So you have the body, then the header, and you are floating things. I can see figure inside header is floated, the nav is floating. The header itself is going to have a background image URL and images, and I paste the name in like this. Okay, so when I hover it and it appears, it means that the path and the name are correct. Let's have a look whether it affected anything. So there's something taking up some space here. Did I save my index? I don't think I saved it. I'm going back and refreshing again. Like that. Okay, the background image doesn't appear, but that is a matter of finding out why. But the important thing is that we have a logo and then we have a navigation inside the header. It is strange that the background image doesn't show up. But instead of debugging this, I would rather like to work on the size of the logo and to make the navigation look correct. You want it under each other. Okay. So the size of the logo. The logo is the first thing here. It has a class of logo. You have given it a width in the markup. So it means that I think it will override the CSS that you might be doing on it. So I will remove that width, and then I will go to the CSS and the logo image. This is the other image. Actually, we're not going to have anything inside an element with a class logo that is called image. I will rewrite this. Logo is the figure containing the logo, and you say 250 pixels. Let's have a look at that. And actually, you are right with the other one. I will say logo, and there is actually an image inside. Sorry. Here, I would like to say the width of 100%, not Windows, but width of 100%. Then the image will be the size of its container, and I'm controlling the size of the container up here. So the image will be 250 pixels. So I will refresh now, and I hope I'm looking at the right file. Index, because it does seem to react for some reason. 250.
Yeah, it's got the...
Maybe it is 250 or what. I'm going to refresh this one. Yeah, it was 250. There's some that was too big. I can try to select here with Control A, select everything to see where are the elements. I see there's a lot of space that I need to find out where is that defined and so on. Before I find that, I would rather work with a navigation to make that appear as block elements. So we have our nav. It has a border, takes a line. It has there's a margin here. That may be too much. I will leave it there right now, and some background color. Okay, here we have the anchors. They say display inline block. That's why they can display beside each other. And if there's not space enough, it will just break the line to the next, so they become like fluid. And what you want is actually display blocks, so they take up the whole width of the navigation. So this one should be changed to display block. Font weight bolder, font family, a font size is fine, I guess. Text decoration, okay. We'll save that and refresh. And here we have the navigation has a certain width. Didn't I give it 100% or something like that? I need to look at why the nav is not bigger than this. So, nav, margin. Okay, it was in the media query I was working. There's also some other things. Okay. I'm a little surprised that the nav is not filling the whole width, because it is a block element that should take the whole width. So
block that's got another size on it, but it's inside.
yeah, so I will say 100%, even though it's the default, and see if it changes anything. And it did.
So there must be something.
Let me see here. Yeah, and there's something with the margin somewhere that is not controlled correctly. There was 100 pixels of top margin here that we don't need, I guess. Here. I would rather say just 1M. So if the font size is changed, that distance is also changed. Like this. If you wanted this one to appear beside your nav, we could do something about that. This nav is a block element, and I don't know whether you are floating. I think you are floating a lot of things. Recipes, vertical display, inline block, footer, table. Okay, this is just for the media query. No, you're not floating here. I thought I saw some floating things. What I want to do is, if we want the logo and the nav to be beside each other, I could tell them to display table cell, both of them. I think I would like to do that. An experiment. I don't know how it will work. So we have dot logo, comma. Oh, I'm inside is. There is something that is not finished here. I think I overwrote it somehow.
The nav is missing a. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Now it's there back. Okay, dot logo is the figure, comma, and then the nav. Yeah, there are those two elements. If we need to look at it in the HTML, how it's marked up. So I go back to index. So you see we have a nav and we have this figure. If I say display table cell to those two, I expect them to appear beside each other. So that's what I'm going to do. Display table cell like this, and since they don't react, okay, this has a width of 100%. I think I said I need to give them some width. The logo has a width of 50. If I set that in percentage, let's give them 20%. because then the nav can have the rest. That it will be 80. I can adjust these values. I saved, and then I'm going to refresh. And they don't appear beside each other. It might be because the calculation, even though it should sum up to 100, is not totally correct. But I can test that by just making it less than 100%. And yes, it was because 100, maybe because of some margins, and so there was not space enough. But now the idea of how to place those two elements together is display table cell to both of them and give them a dimension so where there is space enough for them.
Could be that you should have a reset CSS.
Yeah,
on the body, but
yeah, I would say I wouldn't go in and do that. There are some margin definitions that need to be changed somehow.
Body, but a proper reset CSS gives everything margins to
Okay,
0.
let's take the next step, and the time is 1 o'clock in 1 minute. What should happen with this just after the nav? Meaning this div here, and then we have the footer. If this main div and the footer, we want them to have the same left margin, we could choose to have a main element outside them, so they can have the same left margin all the time, or we can separately set the left margins for this one and then also for the footer. This is a matter of preference. I think I will leave it there. I will not change that much in your markup. The text is far too big. Main, and this is called main heading. The name is not very good because it also takes the paragraph. So it could be a better name, could be main content rather than main heading. But let's have a look at the CSS that is controlled here of the text size. So here we have for the anchors and the navigation, here, main heading. That one is floating left, and we're not going to float it for the mobile view, and we are making the mobile view first. If we're going to float, it will be later, and it will be inside a media query. Here you say font size 3, but that is for the H1s here. Here we don't have any font size. We have a margin. This is the top, right, bottom. So you are making some space on top and so to the footer. You could do that. Okay, now we have a font size on the H1. We have A2 here, paragraphs, font weight and font size. I don't know. Now I'm mixing up here, intervening with your design. Now this is 3M, and this is 1.5. The thing is this text too big, or what? That is a matter of design choices. We need some space from the header to the next content. So let's have a look. We need some space in between the header and this content here. So we could add some margin top on this one. That is this one. So there's 50 pixels in top. And actually I will change them to M's. So if we say 5 or 4M, and maybe I would do that to 0 to see what kind of size I would need rather than this. And it seems like it's not responding to the margin for some reason. So I will look for the header here, here. The header is the figure is floating, and the nav is floating. I will remove those because it was an other approach.
Then a lot of stuff turns out.
And then now we have the margin that I expected.
And you've got it back.
And now the background appears. Yeah,
Why is that?
the background was not there because the whole thing was floated and the header was collapsed because all the content of the header was floating.
Yeah.
So then it has no height. So
And it's back.
so without debugging, suddenly we found out why the background was not there. There is a white. Yeah, the thing is it what we want? You need to find out, is this white background, is this what you want? You want it transparent? So we need to find out where is the color defined. We can inspect the element and let's have a look. Select here and this one. It says a border background color white. If we remove the background color, it will be transparent. But suddenly you have a problem. So another solution. So inside the nav. So now I know where it is. So I go back to the nav here where it says white. But instead we can say RGB and then A for alpha channel, and then the white is like this. And actually this is done by saying 255. It's in decimals here. Comma 255. That is white. Comma, then the alpha is the transparency. So we can say 0.5, half transparent. And then we can make it less transparent. You can adjust the value of instead of 0.5. And so
Can you make the nav box smaller?
yeah, there's some kind of size that is. I need to inspect this. I need to inspect this again and see what kind of margin is in there. Padding,
Margin top 1.
nav width, margin. There's a border padding. So it's not on that one. What is that? There's no padding. What is that green thing here? Is there a height on this? No, there's no height on it. I think it's going to be the last thing I'm going to try to figure out. Has a width and border. it should be revealed here what kind of size that is. It is it is because it is a table cell and I need some vertical alignment. Yes. So the anchors, they are display block here, display table cell. So I need vertical alignment to the top. Come on, like that. Okay. I'm going to stop this.